And once again, we are back. I'm Q,
I'm Teddy.
and this is The Farm.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
We're trying to keep the thing regular, trying to keep you guys entertained.
Yeah, we had some tragedy to occur, and
that's one reason I'm kind of glad that we didn't do a podcast last week, because I was just so full of so many different feelings. This has been a very trying month, honestly. It's been a lot this month.
Yeah.
Not a bitch, what I'm saying, but there's been a lot going on this month. Mother just was diagnosed with diabetes, and then I had to rush her to the ER because she's having hip and leg pain and stuff like that, and then father in and out of the hospital.
Yeah. Subsequently, he died. He saw me off stage. We was having technical difficulty with the mic, but Pops died, and so it was a lot going on last week.
Yeah, so I'm glad we didn't. I didn't want all that shit to spill over and shit like that. But as you live, you are going to pass. So it's inevitable. A lot of us don't like to think about it, don't like to talk about it.
We might have to do a podcast on it later.
What? About what?
My Pops.
No. I already told him.
None for you, huh? Let's save it to a later date once he's in the ground.
Let's put it to rest now. I don't think. Okay, I don't know how many of you people grew up without having a father in your life, right? We always known who this man was. He also never really live too far away from us. He always been most of the time in the same community as us, right? Yep. I was surprised when I was like 27, found out that he was in walking distance of my apartment.
It wasn't a surprise to me.
Well, it was a surprise to me. I had no idea. But he's always been there, but he's never been there.
Yeah.
And then he passed, and I'm just like, so, it's not a hate there. It's just indifference. That's what it was. There was a lot of indifference when he passed.
Yeah.
And it took me a few days to commune with myself to figure out what I was feeling. Because I'm like, I should feel something. I feel like now I'm getting older and I'm not feeling anything. I'm not as emotionally, I'm not as emotional as I used to be in my younger age and stuff like that. I think that's just naturally with age, with men and stuff like that. As we get older and stuff like that.
This world teaches you to harden those emotions. It's funny. I had a conversation recently, and the topic was basically sex, and I was like, why men like sex so much? And she was like, why? I was like, well, it's very few times in our lives where we're able to release our emotions and our feelings. And sex is one of those things. It's so primal and so pure that you're able to actually.
That's when we get the most animalistic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we get our most animalistic when we have sex. You know what I'm saying?
And so
I drool during sex. What the fuck?
And so as you get older, those emotions starting to harden even more in us men a lot of times. And so, like he said, the old men stayed relatively close to us in the same community, in the same neighborhood. I remember I have to be about 11 years old, and I don't know if you remember this. Remember all the guys used to convene in that parking lot behind our house?
Yeah, with all the glass and it was weird.
Yeah.
I think the house I had burnt down.
No, I can tell you what happened. So the old man, I don't know if you remember the old man, he used to orchestrate. He always had on the suspenders. He actually owned the lot. He actually owned the house, the building, the whole building that was there. Remember, he stayed in the garage. He lived in the garage.
I remember that.
Yeah, he had several properties. What he did was he sold off all his assets, kept the money, and did not live it. He squatted in that garage.
Oh, okay.
He used to own the building. He sold the building. They never never did anything with it. So he squatted on the property.
Right.
That's why he was out there every single day.
Okay.
Until he died.
I had no idea.
And so they would, a lot of these guys, it'd be 30, 40, 50 of them out there every single day, especially in the summertime.
Man, ain't no shade out there.
No shade. I mean, there's no trees. There's glass everywhere. Glass and dirt.
Glass and dirt and rocks and screws and just.
So, yeah. So it was really.
Tetanus.
It was a bad situation. But they would set up these wheelbarrows and they would gamble on. We're talking about cards, dice games, galore. All day and all night. From sun up to sundown, these guys are out there. And particularly at the time, the old man had a Blazer. He had a Chevy Blazer truck.
Yeah,
it was black and gray.
I remember that Blazer.
And so in the backyard, I would be out there in the morning, especially in the summertime, and I'm playing basketball. And if I didn't have to see him in the crowd. I knew he was there because he parked in the same place every single day. Right there so he can gamble. And if I was going to the store, for example, I would walk past him and he'll look at me. He wouldn't really acknowledge me. He'll just nudge his head. And it got to the point where I did the same thing and just kept going because it was so regular to see him, but not to really know him. And so now that he's gone, and it's crazy, it's weird because in the last 2 years, our relationship, and I'll tell you how. Okay, a few years ago, well, shit, it's like 10 years ago now, I got divorced. And I went through therapy and I made a list of all the people in my life that I needed to have a conversation with. And he was on my list. And I actually got to spend about 2.5 hours talking to him about this. And initially, it was like he was really defensive about it because most of the stuff that we discussed, he didn't remember. And I understood that from, at the time I was in college, so I went through psychology classes too. So I understood where his position was because he didn't understand these things that I'm talking about. He didn't remember it. It didn't occur to him because in his mind, it didn't happen. And so knowing, being on the inside, looking out, I understood that. But I was able to say my piece. And after 2 hours, it was this like uneasy respect thing, whatever, we go our separate ways. Now, let's go to like 2 years ago where I started reaching out to him. Hey, man, I don't want nothing. I just want to check up on you, see what's going on. And so it got to that point. And even if it got to the point where he'll call me occasionally, it wasn't real regularly, but he'll call me and say, what's up? Call me and want something. For example, I'm really good on computers. So, and he knows nothing about computers. He knew nothing about computers. And he'll call me. Yeah, he was a fossil. Yeah. You know, mechanic most of his life.
And the analog, he knew it.
Exactly. And so he'll call me and ask me about ordering parts or whatever it was. And I'll do that for him and he'll pay me or whatever. He'll meet me. If I need help with a car situation, he'll come take care of it. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, man, what I owe you? Because I'm looking at it like from back then as a kid, he didn't do anything for free. So I'm like, man, what I owe you? Oh, we family. Don't worry about it. Or give me whatever you feel. That's the way.
That's surprising.
That's surprising to you. But that was our relationship. You know what I mean? So I got a little bit out of it as I got older. But it really didn't attach itself emotionally because those times when I wanted or needed him when we were kids, it really didn't happen. And so that was the problem, is that now that he's gone, it's like Teddy said, it's an indifference there.
Yeah. Where
it should be some kind of emotional tie, and really not.
Yeah. It didn't feel real. It felt like it was just a rumor. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like a Facebook post, like, oh man. All right, well, let's keep rolling. You know, it was like that. It was just like you see something, you know, read it, and you keep going.
You know, and it's crazier to me because I saw the decline, the progressive decline, where you didn't oftentimes, because I made my way out pretty regularly because, you know, I get my car done and he had tools, he has the resources. And so even if I did it, you know, I used his tools to do so and work on my cars. And I remember having a conversation with him where he was telling me that he had to go in for surgery, and that if they were talking about cutting a part off, because he was a diabetic, he was a juvenile diabetic since he was about 10 years old. He started smoking when he was 11, started working on cars when he was 11, and never took a drink a day in his life, never took any kind of drug besides nicotine. And on top of that, while you're a diabetic, he ended up being diagnosed with cancer, with lung cancer. So you're a diabetic, you are a cancer patient who still smoked up until the day he died.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I would have arguments with him sometimes if I was transporting him somewhere, like, hey, don't smoke in my car. And what are you gonna do? And he's one of those old school tough guys. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you gonna do?
A man can't tell another man what to do like he whoop his ass.
Exactly.
You
know what I mean? And even though when I was younger, he was way bigger. He was a cockier dude. And so now,
jail body.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time in the pen. So
a lot of time. So, I mean, he was a tough guy in his day, but now you're getting older. You're not out there on the streets like that. And it was a respect thing. If you ask me not to do something in your household or your motor vehicle, I will not do it. And the same thing should apply. But because he feel like I'm his son, it's like you can't tell him anything. And it's like, where's the respect there? And we'll get into it all the time over that situation.
Yeah, you throw me all the damn time. You throw me all the time. He ain't like my mouth. But I told him, like, man, it's a little late. You trying to be a father now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I'm a grown man in my 30s. You tell me I gotta watch my mouth around you? Like I should respect. I think that's what it was. He thought I didn't respect him. Right? He thought I didn't respect him because I cursed. Because even though he's not a traditional father, he still had traditional ways.
Yeah.
Because he had older people that were older than him that he would never curse in front of.
Right.
But I remember one time, I was trying to buy me a car. I think I was like 20. I wanted to get a car, and I was getting my tax return, and I asked Pop, do he know anybody who's selling a car? Yeah, I know people and stuff like that. He gave me the number and stuff like that. And I asked you to go with me, and I'm talking to the guy, and the dude was willing to sell me a car for $800 with no title. And then Q like, nah, fuck that. So I called Pops. I'm like, hey, Pops, man, I'm over at your boy's lot and stuff like that. He's trying to sell me a car and stuff like that for $800. He's like, yeah, what's the problem? I'm like, but no title. He like, tell that motherfucker to suck my dick. I'm like, you want me to tell him just like that? He like, just like that. I'm like, hey, we came by the car.
Yeah. And that guy, he was a little shady.
Yeah, he was shady.
I bought a couple trucks from him.
Yeah.
He tried to pull the same thing with me. And I was like, man, if you don't go get my title, because I had already put a down payment down. Mm. And I'm like, look, I'll come back later. I got to get to work. It was for a work truck.
Shiesty.
Yeah, it was for a work truck. He was like, yeah. I got another guy looking at it. I'm like, look, fuck that. Here go my money down. Give me a receipt, and I'll come back after the fact, and I'll come get it. So the next day I get there, and he's like, oh, I can't find it. No. What you gonna? You're not gonna do that.
Give me my fucking money.
Give me my money.
You know what I'm saying?
But and so what he did was he went and found the title.
Shit.
He was real shady.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that guy, but I hope all the bad things for him.
No, Pop. When I talked to Pop, when he was working on my truck, I told him about the story. He's like, oh yeah, he's still over there. He still got that lot. Mm. So obviously, dude's still alive, up to his knowledge and stuff like that. Well, but yeah, that motherfucker, he was always threatening me. Motherfucker told me, he was like, we gonna gotta get into a phone booth. I'm like, Pop, ain't no phone booth. They don't exist no more. Like, we'll go to London. I'm like, if you take me to London, you deserve to whoop my ass. I'm like, come on, give me a free shot. Come on. I'm like, what we gonna eat after this?
Yeah, man. So, last couple of days of his life, man, it was a little sad to see. But it's such a weird thing though. I'm gonna tell you why, because it was sad to watch, but I had no real attached to it. And people are talking to me and like, yeah, I'm sorry for your loss. And
I don't feel like a lot of people did have a huge tattoo. Cause remember, aunt, his sister called and talked about she throwing her hands up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She was there only a couple of times to help, and she already threw her hands up. You know, I think the benefit from him being around dried up.
I agree.
That's what I felt.
And that's another thing is that growing up, we were treated like the secret that was kept in that side of the family. Even it's weird because I went to the hospital. They had called me. It's crazy. Went over there that morning to check on him.
Yeah.
And while I was there, he was asleep. And I looked over him and it's like, yeah, he's sleeping. All right, well, just let him sleep or whatever. And they was like, no, we're gonna have to wake him up in a minute anyway, so we can take his test his diabetes. So I was like, okay. So they test his insulin, whatever. She woke him up, and he started staring. I'm like, what's going on, man? And again, I was like, you need anything, whatever. I'm talking to him, and he didn't say anything. He just was staring and looking or whatever. So I stayed for a little bit longer, and then I ended up leaving. Come home, made some more errands, ran some more errands. Came back and actually fell asleep on the couch. And as I was laying there, my phone rang. It's mine. It's his sister. And she's like, yeah, they just rushed him to the hospital. The doctor says, get up here now because so everybody can say they final goodbyes. They're going to take him off the breathing machine. Now, to give y'all clarity, he was in hospice care. It means they can't do anything for him. They could have did more, but mentally he gave up with all the pain that he was having and all of that. He gave up. He checked out a long time ago, and he told them if he ever gets into a situation again where it's dire, just let him go. And so that's what they did. So actually, I found out that he had actually was died while at the home, and they was able to resuscitate him only enough to put him on a breathing tube. So the machine is breathing for him. He can't breathe on his own. And so I get there, and about an hour go by. Everybody's rotating. They're letting two in the room at a time. And so I was originally supposed to and it was going to be me and so our great uncle decided to go in with her. I'm like, that's fine, whatever. I'll sit out in the lobby. And so when the doctor came in and take him off the machine, whatever, our aunt comes out and says, they say it could be 5 minutes, it could be 5 hours. We don't know. It all depends on him. So if you want to go home, you can do that. So she's starting to make arrangements. So I was like, well, just let me know what I need to do, my part, whatever. And I started to take off. So some people are out in the parking lot, and it's like, hey, how you feeling about it? And I'm like, man, it's what it is. And one of the guys out there says, tries to introduce me to another guy. He's like, yeah, this is Charles's son. And I'm like, you know how many times this has happened? I'm like, I've seen all of these people and I know who they are, but they don't know who we are. And you know how sad that is to be a 35-year-old man still getting introduced to parts of family that should know us, but don't.
Literally, this is no exaggeration. Every single time we went over to his side of the family, there's a new person surprised to know we existed. Every single time.
Sad. It's a sad thing. And again, and it's not just he stayed on like in our community, but his siblings.
Yes.
So we're talking about his sisters, his brother, their kids. We interacted with them often, but there was other people in his age.
You interacted with them often.
Well, early on.
I thought when we were shorty?
Yeah.
We stayed in the Lundale area.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So I'm not talking about when I became, adult and I started branching out. No, it's a strange thing.
Yeah.
So, but
every time we went over there, it was like a new person. Right? Oh, these Charles sons? Oh man, they look just like him. Every single time. Like, and it's like, our aunt come over like, come on, I want to show y'all, introduce y'all to somebody and lead us over and stuff like that. Person like chilling and talking. Like, these Charles boy, every single time. I remember the first time maybe Tyrone realized that. So we sitting back to like they was smoking and stuff. He had just came back from the military and stuff like that. He like, hey, you want to smoke? I'm like, sure, why not? I ain't got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? So we go get the weed, sitting back. I'm like, you want to think about some fucked up shit right now? He's like, not really. I'm like, I'm gonna fuck your head up with this one. Like, have you ever realized that every time we go over to Pop's side of the family, there's a new person surprised to know we exist? I was like, he was like, I'm like,
blew his mind.
You're welcome. I'm like, you're
blew
welcome.
his mind.
I'm like, nigga, we was the secret.
But it's hard to be a secret when you figure out and factor in the fact that he had. No, I asked him one time.
Possibles. So that's the thing. I was fucked up the other day. I got.
But here's the kick. Here's the kick. Terrence look and sound like us. You can't deny that one. That was his first.
Yep.
Then you have like Boxer.
Don't know who the fuck that is. Continue.
Sure. Yeah. Big. Kind of look like us. Bit taller, darker. There was one that I got his obituary. I didn't even go to his funeral. It was Charles Jr. He don't know who he is. I met this guy one time, and it's funny. Now I met him twice in life.
Well, Charles Jr. Charlie.
Yeah.
See, we met Charlie once.
No. There was two Charlies. Terrence has a brother named Charlie, but this one was separate. See what I'm saying? But I met this guy actually. The first time I met him, we were in a fight. It wasn't us initially fighting. It was just the group of friends I was with got into it with these dudes. I met them. And then, right?
It's a West Side Story and shit. It was a gang. I realized you was a gang leader, even though you was a gang leader.
Oh,
that's the worst part about it. Didn't know you was a gang leader. Ain't no leader. Well, you kind of walked up front. You know what I'm saying? You was a gang leader. You didn't know it.
No, I really didn't. But anyway, yeah, because
you walking around in all black and shit like that. I'm like, these motherfuckers thugs. Stealing cars and slapping bitches. I'm like, this nigga's a gang leader.
But we met like that. And then one time I'm riding with the man, with the old man.
That nigga walked up.
And he like, he went past. When he went past, he was like, you got a brother to say right there. I was like, oh yeah. And he was like, yeah. He's like, you want to go meet him? I was like, man, whatever, man. And he called him down, like, hey, yeah, I'm downstairs. Come on down. I got somebody you want to meet. And dude come to the car and look at me. And I look at him, and he's like, I know you. I was like, yeah, I know you too. I was like, you know how crazy that is? You know how crazy that is. And it was
That's
like
a BET story. That's what that is. BET had a movie with Big Pun and Fat Joe.
Licking in water.
And they was two gang members from opposite sides, but they were brothers. They was half brothers, same father, different mothers. And they found out, and so
at his funeral. But they did business together before that. Yeah, you talking about Thinking in Water.
That's a BET movie. That's what that is.
Yeah, I met this dude. I'm like, man, you know how crazy if it would have escalated to past that, to
brother killed brother.
You know, it's crazy. You know what I mean? But that's the situation.
That nigga, Charles, man. Charles was a motherfucker. He really was. You know, I wanted to go to the funeral and go to the podium. Like, excuse me, everybody. I just want to say, Pops, I took your advice. I never went to the penitentiary and walk off. Walk the fuck off. That was his only advice. His only advice was, whatever you do, son, don't go to the penitentiary. I'm like, man, I need some help, Pops. Like, what you need, son? I was asking him shit. Asked him, this. He's like, yeah. And whatever you do, don't go to the penitentiary. I'm like, okay, all right, Papa. I'm gonna note it. Note it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, I was with him a couple. I'm not even gonna tell the full story, but I've been with him several times while he committed serious crimes, and I'm not even talking about when I was older. I'm talking about when I was a kid, young kid, and then he'll look at me, smoke a cigarette, and like, you want some ice cream?
Bribe your ass.
Yeah,
sugar.
Shit. He did have a sweet tooth.
I think once I remember I don't know where I was going. I was walking somewhere, and he picked me up. I was walking somewhere. I don't know where the fuck I was going. You know what I'm saying? I use this. My grandmother didn't watch us. So I got to do a lot of shit I was supposed to do because she didn't watch us. I used to go in fucking abandoned houses and raid the motherfuckers and shit like that. I don't even know how I got a fucking dresser to the second floor, past the kitchen, into the bedroom, into the fucking closet. I don't even know how I fucking got that dresser in there, but I fucking did. I had to be like 9, 10. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm walking. So I think I'm on my next excursion. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I remember this block. I gotta go past this to get to that abandoned house and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And he saw me and he pulls over and he's like, "Where you going?" I'm like, "Just walking." He's like, "Get in." Had me in the car with him and shit like that. So we riding and stuff like that. Where you going? You said I was just walking. I ain't about to tell this motherfucker I'm going to an abandoned house to go inside of it.
Right.
That's more problems than I need. You know what I'm saying? So we go and he goes to one of his dip's house. So he leave me in the car, going to have the dip and stuff like that. Then after a while, he come back and stuff like that. Get in the car, he like, don't mention this to D. I'm like,
his wife at the time.
His wife at the time. I'm like, okay, shit, fuck. And like, we have conversations.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? She was a weirdo, man.
She
I hated talking to her. It was always, I don't know. She always act like she knew something. Like she had the upper hand every conversation. Mind you, she was grown and we were kids. But she always talked to her like she knew way more about everything than we do. It just was just strange. She had that like, I know shit and you don't know a goddamn thing when she talked to you. You know, we just like, bitch, why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Why are we having the conversation? This is agonizing. It was an agonizing conversation.
It really was.
Everywhere.
And at the time, my little arrogant ass thinking again, we were like preteens, so I'm thinking I know everything about every goddamn thing.
Yeah. That's the foolishness of youth.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, well, fuck you, lady. Like, fuck you. That's what I would actually say. I'm not gonna mince words, especially at the time. I didn't care about the consequences.
I remember she said something about your little dicks or something. I don't know. I remember it was a vague conversation, and I think she was like, y'all think y'all know something or something like that, and you know what I'm saying. The only thing you can barely watch your little dicks. I'm like, bitch, why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I'm just like, why are we having this conversation? She was, I don't know.
Such a weird woman.
She was a weird woman.
Yeah.
That was his type though. That was definitely his type. So
what they say about our mama.
Oh, you don't think mom was a little strange back? I'm pretty sure she was a little weird back in the day. You know what I'm saying? She mild now. You know, give her the mobility and the energy of a freaking 20-year-old. She probably was a fucking monster.
Probably. It was funny. We had a sister. She died about a year ago.
2019.
2019?
2019.
Yeah. Her mother and our mother stayed on the same block. And actually, I was born 1 month before she was. Almost exactly 1 month. 29 days. 29 days before our sister was born.
His pull-out game was weak.
Weak as fuck. And
that's how we keep meeting all these possible. You know, that's the crazy part about it. That's why I got fucked up the other day and shit. I thought about it like, this motherfucker had about 22 possibles. He had five definitely. 5 children that were definitely his.
Yeah.
But he had about 22 possibles.
Oh yeah. Come out the woodwork.
Where the fuck did nigga get all this money from to be supporting now? Because
he didn't support. He was a felon.
Yeah. I understand.
He wasn't supporting nobody.
No. I'm just
saying. Here's the thing. His lip service had to be strong as fuck. Because I never known
all of these women is fucking this nigga because he talked good. So a lot of these women was fucking him because he provided something.
Yes.
Right?
Because he always was scheming. He was always hustling.
So I'm saying.
Not always bad.
Because
he did do some construction and shit like that.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I was getting to the point. How much money was this nigga making for him to be fucking all these females? You know what I'm saying? Because, again, not all these women were looking for love. They were looking for getting something out of this nigga.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, How much money was this motherfucker really making?
He was pulling down some decent bread.
I bet he was. I bet he. That's
You know,
what I'm saying.
on his deathbed. Because remember, we went to the hospital and they were only allowing one up.
That was
And
ridiculous.
it was really
you,
ridiculous.
Fuck you. That was ridiculous.
I ended up going up, and I had a conversation with him a little while ago. I forgot about the conversation. I was telling him that we were looking to buy a factory.
Yes.
Buying property to run our business and potentially live above it, whatever. And when I went up, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? You know, he was like, hey, it's like, did y'all get the property yet? And I was like, no, not yet. I'm looking into it. One place, you know, it's abandoned, and they want way too much money for it than I'm willing to spend for it, especially because we need to do some work on it. He's like, well, provided I get out of here, I got some money to invest. I'm like, damn, because he saw the opportunity.
Yeah.
But I forgot that we had the conversation, and
forget about it.
This wasn't the first time he talked about investing in what we were doing. You know what I mean? Because he saw the opportunity. He saw what I was pulling down with certain things. Because he'll be around me, and I'm on a conversation. He's like, hey, son, He's like, I should have got into that. And I'm like, well, you know, shoulda, woulda, coulda. But for somebody, he was very resourceful. And I think a lot of that shows in what we are.
Yeah, I think so too.
Very
resourceful, very independent.
Yeah, absolutely. And is a pro and con, because when you're a kid and you're looking for a role model and to have a dad, I remember those calls where we're calling like, hey, dad's coming to pick us up, and you guys will be waiting.
I was a fool. Look at the camera. I was a fucking fool. I was a goddamn fool. We would literally be in the house. We wouldn't even play outside.
They wouldn't play outside. I'm gone.
I'm talking about me and Tyrone.
Yeah.
I said we. I ain't say you. You already gave the people, a little knowledge, a little background already.
Yeah.
But me and Tyrone, we would literally wait all day. We sit on the porch because G-Mom make us get cleaned up and stuff like that. My grandma didn't believe in baths. She didn't believe in showers. She believed in baths.
Yeah.
So we had to take baths. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Run a bath, get in it, drain it out, make sure all the body soil washed out so the next person can get in or something like that. You know what I'm saying? If you were the number 1 or 2, you taking a cold bath. You know what I'm saying? We take bath, get cleaned up. Because my grandma, she will only buy us one outfit a summer. You had to keep that outfit pristine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She'll get it from K's over on freaking California.
On 23rd.
In California. She'll get our outfits from there. One outfit each.
They would have one outfit. I would spend my own money wisely to buy my own clothes. Even if I had to leave it at my buddy's house.
We was like fucking 10. We had 10 and 11.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have no money. The money, growing up with a person who has a gambling addiction, you can't let her know you got money.
True.
Because she'll spend your money trying to, become that millionaire. That's her dream. Dream to become a millionaire and stuff like that. Have a real big ass house and not have anybody in that motherfucker.
Yep.
It was strange. Even for she turned sick. Her house was her fucking tomb. Because even though she had everything she wanted, she would not invite anyone over. She didn't want nobody ever in her space, which is strange. She just wanted just to have it. But anyway, yeah, we he said, yeah, I'll come get you guys a little later. Like what time? Like 6. So we'd be ready. We'd be ready and stuff like waiting. 7 o'clock come. We like, all right, well, you running a little late, you know what I'm saying? He might have been busy. He might have been working 8 o'clock in and stuff like that. And the street lights on. Street lights on and stuff like that. Sometimes street lights on and stuff like that. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. We like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? We still trying to stay nice and clean.
In the meantime, every other hour they call.
Yep. Like, hey, Dad, we just want to let you know we still awake. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't go to sleep yet. You know what I'm saying? We know it's only 9, 10 o'clock here.
Like, I know what time it is. I'm coming.
Mom, she want to cut off the lights. She's like, it's time to lay down, get out the clothes. Like, no, we got the clothes, stuff like that. How we going to be ready when he comes? You know what I'm saying? Like, work with us. Like, work with us. Don't work against us. You know what I'm saying? Like, these opportunities will come around like that.
they bargaining.
We reasoning. You know what I'm saying? She like, I'm gonna cut off the light. I'm like, oh, whoa, what are you doing? Don't cut that light off. He drives by, he see how the lights off, he think we sleep. You know, he will keep going. Like, leave the light on. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can cut the big light off, leave the lamp on, so you can at least see. You know what I'm saying? Wake up the next morning disappointed. But he never came.
I'm well rested. I've got my cereal. Like, what's wrong with y'all? Because I experienced it before them. You know what I mean? You know, it's crazy. I remember, so to get out some subtext, I didn't call him dad since the age of about 10. And the reason because is here. So I always had an affinity for computers. So whenever I loved in school computer class, and I would pick the guy's brain. I can't remember, Mr. Natowich, I believe, was the teacher. But anyway, I would pick his brain because I knew that I wanted to make video games. I always would tell my friends, like, yeah, I'm going to make video games. I'm going to make animated movies, whatever. And so I would pick the guy's brain at school, at the elementary school, and we're like, hey, can you show me how to make games? He was like, And at the time, the process, especially on the computers in our school, really wasn't up to par.
Yeah, shitty.
Yeah, they were shitty. But he would give me discs. So it was like demos for like 3D software that I like use now today. And so we didn't have a computer at home. My grandma told me I couldn't afford it, whatever. She was lying, by the way. She got an income for all of us.
Each of us got a check.
Each of us, every single month.
And they pay.
And the older you got,
the more money, because it takes more money to care for you.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we're all boys. She had adopted 6 boys. They give you more for boys because they're harder to take care of because they're more unruly. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because girls are more docile. They're more easier to wrangle in, So, yeah, she had income. She had checks every month for each of us.
Absolutely. And she lied. But anyway, we find that out a little bit later. However, though, I'm at the time I'm like 10 or whatever. I call the old man. I'm like, hey, Dad, listen, I've been doing really good in school. I've been staying out of trouble because I was a troublemaker in school. I really didn't try to be a troublemaker, but people gravitated towards me. Wasn't all that big. People gravitated towards me all the time. So whatever antics I was getting into, the rest of the guys was getting into. That's just how it went. And so I was deemed troublemaker, whatever. But so I really like honed in on it because I was like, look, back to D, his wife. They had computers for days. She would brag on what her kids was doing in school and how, your dad would give $5 an A to April or whatever. And I'm like, so I can get A's too. I just choose not to. So I tried to bargain with him. Like, listen, knowing the information from his wife at the time, I'm like, listen, I've been doing really good in school. I'm bringing up my grades. By a certain point, let's say I get all A's, can you give me a computer? Like, you don't even have to give me a new computer. This is my ignorance. I didn't know if his computers were running or whatever. I'm like, you don't have to give me a new computer. I'll take one of the ones that you got at your house. Going to his house and seeing all these computers sprawled out and I know they fucking work, I'm like, I just need a computer because I wanted to learn how to make games. And he's like, well, son, I'll see what I can do. So a couple months go by, get a progress report. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing good. I got to bring up 1 grade. So I called him. I'm like, hey, I got my progress report. I got all A's and I got a C. I'm going to bring that up. When I bring it up, can I get a computer? He's like, all right, yeah, okay then. So 3 months later, yes, I got the A's. Call him. And I'm like, all right, look, you can come over and you can see it for yourself. This is before cell phones. Nobody got cell phones.
Yeah, we had the house phone.
Got the house phone. Call him on the house phone like, hey, I got all A's. I'm excited or whatever. I'm like, yes, I'm about to start learning how to make video games. He's like, well, son, I thought about it. No, I can't even afford a computer right now. I'm like, what? You can't afford a computer? I'm like, all the computers that there, y'all don't even use them all. Oh, well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, you know how shitty this is? Like how unfair this is? I had to behave in school to get to this point. I was like, you know what? You're not a real dad. I'm like, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna call you Charles from now on. He's like, what? Fuck. Click. I hang up the phone. Not 10 minutes later, he's knocking down the door. He was never too far. 10 minutes later, I swear, my grandma calling me, hey, your daddy out here on the porch. He said, come here. I come to the door. What you want, Charles? He's like, boy, I kick your little ass and this and that and whatever. I'm like, man, whatever. I was like, man, screw you. Now, at the time, not knowing anything, I'm like, I can take him. I'd have got fucked up. But I never forgot that. I'm like, how dare you? I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is what I set out to do. And I didn't get the support. It wasn't until last year he knew what I even did. You know,
that man has never called me. Yeah, I for the longest time, I remember I used to complain back in like 2016, 2017, 2018. I would call him and it would ring and go to voicemail, but his voicemail I set up. And then after a while, I call him back. I call him back right after the first time and he'll forward it right to voicemail. I'm like, what the fuck is that about? I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'll call you. I'm like, hey, is dad phone on? You like, yeah. I'm like,
yeah, I talked to him. I just talked to him.
And I'm like, I just called this motherfucker twice, and he forwarded it to voicemail. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a bill collector or something. I leave him. I text him like, hey,
most likely your number was not even, and he ain't gonna go to text. He ain't gonna read no text. Your number wasn't locked in. He didn't know who you were.
Yeah. So I text him like, yo, this your son. You know what I'm saying? Trying to reach you. So now, I was like, man, fuck it. Now, a couple weeks later, I tried back. I'm like, hey, man, I take this shit personally now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I left him the information, the voicemail that I set up, so I can't leave a voicemail. So then I would be here, and I'll call, and then I'm like, he won't pick up. Then I'm like, let me see your phone real quick. So I call him. What's up, my son? I'm like, hey, man, this your son, Lack. I just called you on the phone, on the number right before this one. That was you? I'm like, yeah. Save my number. I told you last time to save my number. You keep changing phone number. No, I don't. I don't change number like that.
Never been the same in years.
That's an excuse. Like, you keep changing phone number. How? I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't change numbers like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was ridiculous. I remember he had picked us up for a weekend. It was rare. It was rare that he would keep his word. That's the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I model myself on by looking at him and trying to be a man that's not him.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Having integrity, having a backbone, being a man of your word. You know what I'm saying? I saw all that shit. Not being a womanizer, not being violent towards women. By looking at him, I molded myself how to be a man not like him.
Absolutely. It is weird that he and his siblings turned out such far removed from their parents, because their mother and father was in the household, very protective, very providative to their kids, own businesses, own property, own land, not here, but in Indiana, in Gary. And so he and I, as very young kids, I remember us being there. Remember we got our ass whooped for we were in the bar. Remember they owned the bar. Yeah, on the bar. And we were wrestling. We was play fighting and shit. And all those adults were around cheering us on. And later on that night, we get tuckered out. And Mom, she waited till we woke up, and we got our ass whooped for that, for being a spectacle.
And I remember Pop's father. He had 3 dogs. He had a Rottweiler, he had a German Shepherd, and a Doberman.
Yeah, he loved big dogs.
He told me, go in and catch one of them dogs. Literally, one you catch is yours. So I go and try and catch it. Then the dogs, they were not aggressive dogs, but they were territorial.
Yeah.
So if you're on the outside of the fence, they'll bark at you as you're walking past the gate and stuff like that. But they were pushovers and shit like that, you know. So I go out there and stuff like that, and I'm trying to wrestle this fucking Rottweiler I'm covered in fucking mud.
Yeah, because
not only mud. Yeah,
it was shit out there too.
Because these dogs lived outside. You know what I'm saying? but the ground was just wet and stuff like that. I'm trying to wrestle this fucking Rottweiler down to the fucking ground, and they just laughing their ass off. I'm like, this motherfucker set me off. They're like, go ahead and get you one of them dogs, stuff like that. Whichever one you can take it with you. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, come on with me, Cujo. We're gonna be good. Like, I need somebody to look out for me while I'm going to be in the house.
I remember. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I'm like, nah, I'm not about to be the one.
They did that shit to me again. They did this shit to me also when we went down to Mississippi. I don't know why we went down to Mississippi. We went down to Mississippi.
We moved down there.
We moved to Mississippi?
Okay, here's the kick. So Charles and our moms, no. Here's what I'm telling you why.
I'm talking about when we were living with G-Mom. She had custody of us. We took a trip. We took a trip down there.
Did I go?
Yes, you did. We all went down there. I think Maddie went. I think someone passed. It was a death in the family, and we went down there.
I remember that, but I remember we moved there. I'm telling you why we moved there, because Charles and Lo got into it, and she ended up moving there for 6 months with us.
No,
at the time, Tyrone didn't exist. It was me and
you. Yeah. We were shorties. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But I remember that.
We had to be like five.
Go ahead, tell your story.
Anyway, yeah, same thing when we were down in Mississippi and stuff like that. They go and say, go ahead and catch that hog. And I go there trying to wrestle in there hog down. They standing around laughing. I'm filthy. You know what I'm saying? He catch no damn pig.
It was very impressionable and very.
No, they sent my ass off.
Yeah. I have to agree that I sent them off a couple times.
All them motherfuckers sent me off.
It was too easy.
Yeah, they were like, hey, go ask G-Mom be on the phone. You know, back, the community would say Big Mama slap you so fast and shit like that. You don't know what the fuck happened. You just feel lightning. So they like, G-Mom got some, my grandma used to eat fig noodles because she thought they were better than cookies. She thought they were healthier than cookies. She like, hey, I can eat these and stuff like that. My grandma was a big girl when we were little. Yeah. She got smaller
as she got older. She got the blueprint. Grapefruit. Every day.
But also she took a whole bunch of, she had a drawer full of freaking supplements and stuff like that, green tea and all kind of stuff. Yeah. And then she started eating like, our appetite had decreased also.
Well, that's one of the benefits of grapefruit. It's going to suppress your appetite, and it's actually going to burn a lot of fat. And so she ate that every day.
And then she'll literally make a cup out of her hand, put mustard in it, and lick mustard and stuff like that until her fucking hands are clean.
Vinegar. All that stuff.
Yeah, drink vinegar water.
Very acidic person, that lady.
Yeah, that's why Robbie wants to sleep with her. It tastes like batteries. He's like, now, nothing.
He already full of alcohol.
Yeah,
it's over with.
Yeah, bitches like Duracell. I remember I was 19 or 20, and I had moved back in and stuff like that. What was I 19 or 20? No, I was 17. I was 17, and they both went down to Mississippi because they had a death in the family. I think Rob had a death in the family.
It was his brother.
His brother passed, right? Looked just like the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Looked just like him. And
I remember he was an Army vet.
So they came back. They came back and stuff like that. And there's a lot of tension. You know what I'm saying? No, they're not exchanging words with one another. So he get ready to get up. He throwing the jacket. He had a little leather. He got up, throwing that blue leather coat he had to leave the house. Or something.
It was his bluesman coat.
Well, as soon as he leaves and stuff like that, now she want to talk. She needs somebody to talk to. You know what I'm saying? So she's like I gotta talk to you. Well, I'm like, okay, what's going on, G-Mom? She's like, you grown, so you can handle this conversation. I knew right there I fucked up. She was like, what kind of man don't want to lay down with his own wife? I'm like, G-Mom, I don't want to hear that. She's like, shut up, boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been married for so long and stuff like that, but he don't want to lay down with me. He made us get separate beds. I'm like, yeah, bitch, you take like batteries. You know what I'm saying? Like, I lit the battery before and shit like that. The shit hurts. Then you know you want to sneak up on twice. You ever lit the battery? Yeah. Have you ever lit the battery after that? No. Who lit the battery after you lit the battery for first time?
Somebody hankering for some pain.
Well, obviously, he wasn't into that kind of
thing. I was into candy cane. He had a hoe. He had a hoe with that candy cane. And here's how I know. Remember, I had moved out. I moved in K-Town. And we would hang up all night. So it's me, it's Terrence, it's Jamal, a couple more of their buddies or whatever. Ron was Terrence's cousin. So we'd be down there and we have some chicks and shit. And you remember Rob hung out with C Dub a lot.
Okay.
And so C Dub would come down there because we got drinks. You know what I mean? There's ladies down there.
Okay.
Now they stayed above us.
Oh, you talking about Terrence crib?
Yeah. And so remember,
I remember the first time I went over there and shit like that. Continue your story.
yeah. So he would be letting the cat out the bag, not knowing that he dry snitching on himself. He's trying to impress these chicks because he's trying to get his you know what I'm saying, he's trying to get what he get. But his wife, our aunt, Charles' sister, would be up all night. Now she had pain, she had back pain. So she would not sleep at night. It was very uncomfortable.
She had chronic.
It's crazy because they had separate beds. And they had shared room for years, but they got separate beds. But she would prefer to sit up because it helped with her back. She had one chair that she liked to smoke a Virginia Slims, menthol, and sit up and she'll watch TV all night. And so, not knowing that the walls is thin, the floor is thin, he talking about candy cane. And I'm like, wait a minute, man. I'm like, shit. And I'll be laying on the couch listening, cutting up, laughing and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, you need to go upstairs long before she come down here. One time she actually did. She came down and was like, listen here, Dub, get your ass upstairs. He like, oh no, I'm not going upstairs. he went and slept in his car because he was like, nah, because he did armed security.
Yeah.
Kept his piece out all day.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, I'm not going upstairs. But anyway, yeah, that's how I found out. Rob had a hoe. An old named Candy Cane.
I remember once I found out he did coke. That was a big ass. That a lot of that hush speak around the house.
Oh yeah.
A lot of that hush speak. She's like, oh, wait a minute. She be talking. She noticed we around and so like that. She'll get up and so like that, walk in the room, close the door. I'm around, walk on my heels. All you hear all through the house. Heels on the fucking floor.
Oh, country feet.
Hell yeah.
And walk over glass. I don't even know it.
I just the other day and stuff like that. Mom actually put her shoes on. I'm like, this remind me of. And not shoes, her fucking socks.
Oh.
Mom,
was it Vaseline involved?
No Vaseline. So when we were shorties, my grandma was a big girl, so she couldn't reach her feet. You know what I'm saying? And she's short too. My grandma was only like fucking 4'9" or something like that. Yeah. She's short as hell.
Like 4'7", 4'8".
Yeah. So she couldn't reach her feet though.
Big old hands though.
Big ass.
Real small.
Like mine.
Big old hands.
Big ass hands
big
like
mix.
mine. You know what I'm saying? Like a goddamn gorilla. But yeah, she asked us. She'll make us put her socks on. First, she'll make her oil her feet, and then put her socks
Vaseline.
On. Vaseline, right? So then we like, man, he was like,
so horrible.
Like,
you got to do it.
You got to do it. So she like, y'all arguing?
I'll bully them because
she like, y'all arguing about it? I'm like, man, I did it last time. We ain't want to do it. So we amongst ourselves. She's like, one of y'all get over here and put some Vaseline on my feet.
Then she said, name. You know who? If it's me and him in the room, he's going.
Yeah, he was the favorite. He was the favorite child. Yeah. She had picks through the litter and stuff like that. She always had a pick. It's bullshit to think that you're gonna like all the fucking kids equally. Because some of them are gonna be shitty kids. You know,
absolutely.
But he was her favorite, so I got a lot of grunt work because So that's
I had sweat equity. And that's what he's not telling you because there's a lot of things that he did. I did first, okay? Because I stayed with her longer. First of all, so putting the shoes and the socks on, I had to do that because nobody else was in the house. All right, I paid my dues.
Well, because to help my mother out, she decided to take it on him. He's the oldest, so she can have more time with me and the baby, which was Tyrone at the time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he was with her more and stuff like that. But it still doesn't mean that you wasn't her favorite because he was high yellow. He's high yellow.
No,
he had a big ass glasses like this.
First of all, they weren't that big.
They went over his fucking.
They weren't that big, bro. I just had a small head at the time.
Like a fucking
I had a small head at the time. They were normal sized glasses. I was just a smaller head kid. I grew into it, obviously. Now, if I put them same glasses on now,
like
they'll be regular.
That's what you look like.
What?
Yeah, you like Oogway off of Kung Fu Panda.
Oh man, shut up.
The turtle.
Anyway, no, that's bull.
You actually had a neck.
Exactly. Right, because my head was smaller.
You don't have a neck right now.
I have a neck.
You don't have a neck.
Okay.
It's parallel. It's literally parallel.
Now, you see these big shoulders. I have a neck. They go into nice shoulders. I'm making them even nicer. Don't listen to him. Go back to the story. You getting off the top.
I'm gonna get a picture of you with them big ass glasses. No, I can't. That shit thrown away. The album's shit gone. You know what I'm saying?
I have a digital copy.
Well, show them.
I'm not showing them anything. Not yet. They don't deserve it. Wait till there's a lot of people. But anyway, go back to what you were saying, man.
I forgot. I was talking about you. Oh yeah. Wait. I forgot.
The feet. He had the.
Oh yeah. I just had to put mom's, socks on and shit like that. I was telling her, like, yeah, when we were short and stuff like that, I used to get hit a lot because of the same subject. She like, why? Why do you get hit for putting my mom socks on her feet? Like, cause I didn't want to. I didn't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? G-Mon feet had so much calorie, it grabbed you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't work than putting on somebody's socks and shit like that. And it's like you would put your hands over concrete. You ever put your hand over a brick? You like, that was rougher than I thought it was gonna be. That's how her feet was at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Put on the socks.
I just said, can walk over glass. Wouldn't even know.
You put it on and stuff like that. And her feet would catch the sock. So then you stuck. You like, wait a minute, I gotta back out now.
See, it was a technique I had. Like I rolled them all the way up to like.
Y'all give her the good. Because G-Mon had wide feet too. You know what I'm saying? But then she give her regular size socks. You know what I'm saying? And then the Khaled catch the shit. You like, oh man.
It was nice socks. It'd be new.
Brand new socks.
Brand new socks.
You know what I'm saying? She kept house shoes. You know what I'm saying? But that them motherfucking feet catch you. You like, oh man. It was just a lot. And now I never wanted to do it. Man. And then she like,
I paid my dues. I suffered in silence. It was bad. She'd be watching, every day because she would like, if she was preparing meals or something, in between that, she watching her stories, her soaps.
You know, crazy. We gotta change the thumbnail because we've been talking about other stuff. We got into family history and shit.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know. I didn't think we was gonna go the whole hour with that. I thought we was gonna
we can go months recounting all the shit that happened. And,
oh yeah,
you know.
You know what I think we're gonna do? Remember I told you I wanted to do an animated show called I got a story to tell, fact and fiction. I want to tell stories and allow the audience to decide if it's real or false.
Oh, okay. Shit, they're gonna be like, oh shit, no way.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because there are certain things, certain aspects, and certain events that happen that people wouldn't believe that happened. And I want to be able to tell these stories. One is therapeutic. Some of them are funny as hell. Some of them are real serious. But there's lessons in them.
I remember the first time I told people that when I was short, I was going to abandoned houses.
Yeah.
Motherfucker apologized to me. They were like, I'm so sorry. Well, hold on. This is a funny story. Why you apologize? Now you got me thinking.
Right.
I was neglected. I felt like I was ready. You know what I'm saying?
You'll be amazed at what people leave me.
Yeah, yes. Because she made us leave all that shit behind. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
So I
and then burn the house down.
And I figured out
the collections.
I figured out the shit. I'm like, if we left shit, other people left shit.
Yeah. We coming up on the hour though, man.
And just as I figured it out and stuff like that, I thought walking around like, this is a freshly moved out house.
We left an entire the amount of stuff that we left in one house.
The Charizards. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. But the amount of stuff that was left, you could furnish 2 houses. That's how much we left in one place.
No, fuck all that, man. She broke my heart when so I was a short, ain't gonna lie. I used to go to stores, I used to steal Transformers. That was my shit. You know what I'm saying? I paid for some of them, but a lot of them and stuff like that, crack them open, throw down my pants leg, or you can tuck my pants leg in my sock and shit like that, and tuck it into my shoe. So I go on if it wasn't too big and shit like that. Cause most Transformers back in the day cost $9.99. You know what I'm saying?
It was like 6 inches.
Yeah.
6 inches.
Throw down my pants leg and stuff like that. And now I got a new motherfucker for my army. You know what I'm saying? I had the Maximals and the freaking Predacons. You know what I'm saying? So every now and then I used to have a whole lineup of all these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like here's General, here's Megatron, there's Optimus and shit like that. So when we were moving and stuff like that, she was like, I was collecting my Transformers because I had them lined up and shit like that. Like, lines of war, So I'm collecting the shit, throwing them in the bag and stuff like that. My grandmother saw the bag because she knew what bag it was because it was only one garbage bag in the fucking room and shit like that. She walked across them bitches. And she was like, leave that, we'll come get them tomorrow. When I reached in that bag, that motherfucker transformed white because the plastic had bent so much. She walked over them motherfuckers. So I'm like, all right, well, we'll get this shit tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Come back tomorrow?
No, even don't come back tomorrow. At night until like about 11 o'clock at night until like the phone ring, the house phone ring. Grandma kept the house phone.
Yeah, but we didn't go back to the next one.
Shit, I ain't go. It was already burnt down.
Yeah, it was burnt down. They called. That's right why they called. We didn't go to check it until the next day. They already had put the fire out. Cause somebody was I remember the lady next door. She was like, I thought y'all was in there.
Cause I remember her and Rob leaving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They used to leave a lot. You know what I'm saying? They used to go to the boat and shit like that. That's how you know.
Oh yeah, late at night. I'm up.
Being up in the middle of the night and shit, watching HBO and shit. Then I kept it down low enough so I could hear, but if I hear somebody coming down to the hallway, I'm like, sit, go lay my ass down.
We're supposed to be proposing a question. First of all, if you like our content, please help support by liking, sharing, following, because we want to grow this. We have a lot of great stories that you'll get entertained by, you'll get some value from, a lot of good information, a lot of facts. We try to put as much factual information when it comes to social events and society as much as possible.
Yeah.
On top of that, we want to grow this thing so that we have a community of people who just our nugget of wisdom you can get something out of. Mm-hmm. And we want to help that by proposing questions. So if you have any questions, propose them to us and we'll bring them up in the next topic, a conversation. And on top of that, these great stories, man, we have a ton of them. Things you wouldn't believe that has occurred in our lives and the short span that we've been here, straight up. So it's not just about, because I had a story, someone once approached me like, all y'all do is talk about how wrong women are. No, absolutely not. When we're talking about something, it's personal experience. It's not something that's...
It's not opinion based.
Yeah, it's personal experience.
It's literally what we've gone through because growing up in a household with the people we grew up with, wasn't a lot of love there.
Absolutely not. So
we ventured out into the world and we thought, just like in movies, once you find that woman, that you're complete. That now you're getting all the love you've always missed and stuff like that. But then no one told us that person that we found is also doing the same shit we doing and not knowing what the fuck they're doing.
Absolutely.
Thinking that sex equal love, and that's not how love works. So, there was a lot of that. So, sure, we made mistakes and stuff like that, but what we brought, to the subject, to the conversation was stuff that we experienced dealing with women and stuff like that. We never said we were perfect or anything. It's just we brought to you the stuff that we experienced, and hopefully viewers can see where we made mistakes, or even see that inside themselves.
And subject matters that you can relate to,
and you can sit there and you can evaluate. You're like, oh wow, or even bring up those memories. Like, oh my god, I've been through this. You know what I'm saying? So you can live inside your memories.
Because one of the things that I find is people don't really heal from a situation. They just bury it.
Yeah,
a lot of times
closure is not something that Black people use.
Exactly, and that's problematic, man. Because you have a life. People are like, wow, you don't abuse drugs, you don't abuse women, you don't abuse narcotics. It's like, I'm shocked. I'm like, why are you shocked? I'm like, I get to talk about this. I get to express myself in my art. I get to partner with people and share experiences. A lot of people thought that I'm always, and I'm like, fuck no. Like, I can't. I went through all kinds of stuff, and they're shocked. Dude, what are you talking about? You go through shit too. I'm like, but and that it don't define me, and I don't bury it. I try to find a different way to express it. and to deal with it and to heal from it, because I have to live here, man. And eventually I want to have kids. I don't pull my bullshit off on them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? In whatever relationship I have. So that's why we created the farm, is to give a whole slew of recipes, not just in terms of relationships when it comes to male, female, or whatever your sexual preference is, but also to give experiences outside of that, because that's what we want to do, man. We want to heal from it. The situation with our dad, I have closure from it. Not sure about you.
I already said I'm not going.
Right. He ain't going. I'm going because I want to see. I want to see him. I want to see him because I made a promise to myself when I was younger, and so I want to keep that promise. So I'll be there.
Only gonna put the dentures in his mouth.
No, I ain't gonna. I'll. You know how funny? No. He actually had dentures cut, and they were cut. He didn't tell the doctor they was cut too big. And I remember him walking around like, "Hey, man, you got your teeth in." You know, rear corner. I'm like, "Why you talking like that?" And they were too big. So he was laughing, and they popped out one time. They popped out, and I'm like, "Man, what you gonna do? You gonna get them cut down?" He never went back and got them. He's like, "Fuck them dentures, whatever." And he rather to suck the chocolate off of Almond Joys and spit the nuts out than to work around this denture thing. But again, we got more stories like that. So I'm Q.
I'm Teddy.
And thank you for visiting the farm, man. We'll talk to y'all soon.